The In the Den podcast with SIMBA and Spokast is produced locally and independently by Spokast. Intro music provided by Logan Daniel McDonald. What is up, Lexi? Welcome back to In the Den, the podcast collaboration between SIMBA and Spokast, where we highlight entrepreneurs, creatives, and small business leaders shaping Spokane, Eastern Washington, and the region. In this episode, Executive Director Robin and I sit down with Josh Thomas, the founder of Lejit Creative, a full-service branding agency that's worked with companies in tech, entertainment, sports, you name it. They've worked with them, and Josh is a creative force with a deep understanding of design, culture, and storytelling, and he's been helping businesses build powerful and meaningful brands from the ground up. We talk about everything from his early days designing in middle school to creating visual identities for national campaigns to launching Lejit as more than just a studio, but a statement. Josh shares what it means to build with purpose, how SIMBA's help supported his growth, and why design is more than just looking good. It's about saying something that sticks. I'm very excited for you to hear this conversation with Josh. It was a lot of fun. It happened right before Hoop Fest weekend back in June. And Josh is just such a amazing human, and I can not wait to see more amazing work from his studio. So let's get into it. Here is our conversation with Josh Thomas of Lejit Creative. Peace. Well, let's just start.
And take credit for
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's start then. Welcome to In the Den podcast, a podcast collaboration between SIMBA and Spokast. I'm Brennan. I run Spokast. I'm sitting here with Robin of SIMBA,
The executive director.
the executive director. Who are we interviewing today?
We are interviewing Joshua Thomas of Lejit Creative. It's Lejit with a J because JIT are his initials. And not only is Joshua a SIMBA board member, and every time I say things like this, I'm like, and he's also part of the Hair Club for Men. I'm not just a member, I'm the owner, or whatever that comment is. But he's also a SIMBA board member, and we are so excited to have him. He is my newest and youngest board member, but he has been an incredible contributor and part of our leadership.
Awesome. Well, Spokane native, born and raised here. What's your story of being in Spokane?
Oh man, that is a long one. I'll keep it abridged. I'm actually born in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
We moved around a lot. My dad played football in college at University of Louisville. And then we just kind of moved around there because he's always worked at colleges. So
Okay.
I've lived in Orlando, Moscow, Idaho, here, just a bunch of different places. Back in Louisville, like it's
Just wherever he could coach?
wherever. No, so he actually is the assistant athletic director at GU right now.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
he's always been in like athletics. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's also that guy. So he just, in order to like move up in that field, you have to be willing to go where there are other colleges, right?
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
that was kind of the big thing there. So yeah, I've been here since middle school. I went away for my freshman year of high school and then came back. So I've been here for a long time now. But
So where'd you go to high school at?
CV.
Nice. And I found out that you're a baller, a basketball player. Do you play, like, well, CV, I imagine you guys were pretty good back then, right?
Oh yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, we went to state my senior year. We went to the first round my junior year and lost, but my senior year we went to Tacoma. Admittedly, we did get waxed.
Oh.
We played Federal Way, Issaquah. One of my former teammates from Eastern actually played at Issaquah. He's really good, and he was really good in high school too.
What year was this?
This was 2016.
2016.
Okay.
I'm just going to go and put eye cream on and cry about the fact that I
Right.
graduated 20 years before that.
Hey, it's just a number, baby. That's it.
So you ended up at Eastern.
Yep.
So design, like where did this come from? Like, you're a graphic designer.
Yep.
And yeah, when did you start that?
So like my dad's always been in like sports marketing, obviously. So I always thought I was just gonna, like many kids, follow in his footsteps. I was gonna get into sports marketing, all the way up until I was done with high school is what I thought. And my mom actually came in because I'd always like drawn and loved art and gaming and manga and anime and all those kinds of things. And so my mom was actually, she'd always been a big proponent of like my creativity and art throughout my life. And she was like, hey, she's also works in like as an advisor at Eastern. So she's always been in college as well. So that also is pertinent to the story. But she brought a new degree to me and was like, hey, U of I, which is actually where I really wanted to go, they've got a degree called VCD, Visual Communications Design, and I think you would be really interested in it.
Yeah.
So I looked it up. I was like, this is it, right? Like it just felt like it clicked for me. And then I found out that Eastern also had it.
Yeah.
And then it really ended up being kind of like a financial and a credit situation because Idaho, U of I was going to let me walk on. Whitworth wanted me to come, and then Central. And then but for me, like when you go to like Central or Whitworth, like it's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
And I frankly was just not willing to spend that to hoop. So I was like, I'm going to walk on somewhere. I knew Coach Leggins, he's at Portland now, but at the time I'd known him my whole life, right? And so I was like, hey, you cool with me walking on? He was like, absolutely. Like, we'd love to have you. So I walked on at Eastern because they took all my credits. I had a full year done.
Nice.
And then my parents were like, hey, we'll either give you $5,000 to go wherever you want, or we'll pay for you to go to Eastern. And I was like, no brainer. So that's how I got into VCD. And from there, honestly, the rest is history for me. Like,
and so I guess we're gonna probably circle back to your team.
Yeah.
But Tyrell was definitely your professor there, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, and he now works with Lejit Creative.
Yeah. No, and he and I talk all the time. It's so funny. We make jokes all the time about how he groomed me to be his friend while I was in his class. But no, Tyrell and I honestly...
No boundaries crossed.
No, zero, none. Tyrell's my best friend and has been my best friend for over 5 years now.
Nice.
But like when we met in college, it's so funny to look back because he tells me all of these like things that he was like, yeah, no, I was trying to like interact with you, like showing me games and stuff. And anybody who knows me, like I'm a personable person,
100%.
but like when I'm like on my grind doing something, like I'm so oblivious. So like if you're trying to like make a connection sometimes, like I'm just like, hey, I'm focused on this. Like in class, I was very much like my wife at the time, my girlfriend was at WSU. I was at school for school. I'm locked school and hoops, right? Like I go to hoop and then I go to class. I'm out of there, right?
Yeah.
And so like, him telling me like, oh, hey, like, did you see this latest, PlayStation thing, XYZ? And I'm like, yeah, like, no, I saw it. All right, see you later, right? Like, and like it's just so funny that like later on, I don't know what it was that like we got connected on after the fact, but like it was, when you just like meet a twin flame. My wife and I talk about it no, he is my twin flame. Like he genuinely, I obviously hope my wife lives a very long life, like longer than me. I hope I don't outlive my beautiful, loving, sweet, smart wife. I love you, honey. But if she does ever croak before me, I'm moving in with Tyrell. For sure.
I love that.
Unrelated plug for a former Spokanite journalist, Leah Satilli, who's now in Portland, used to work for the Inlander. Yeah. She just wrote a book about the Twin Flame cult.
Really?
And it's called Blazing I See All, and it's incredible.
Interesting.
And I would have made, if Leah were still in Spokane, she'd be a SIMBA member, but she's back in Oregon.
Come back.
So
we miss you.
Right.
So you went to school, you played basketball.
Yep.
Like was that the original calling? Like you wanted to go pro, obviously. You're going to go to the NBA. That was
every
a dream.
Every middle school kid. And I remember, and this is so funny. I remember in class one time telling a girl sitting across, I still remember her name. I'm not going to name drop her because that just is stupid. But I remember.
Creepy.
Yeah, right? That's a better word for it. And I remember telling her, like, no, I'm going to go to the NBA. And she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, no, I'm going to go to the NBA. And, she was bringing all of the, like, logical points. Like, it's literally 1 in a million, right?
Right.
You're 6'2", right? Like, and so that piece of it was like, she would tell me that. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm going to go. I think, like, towards the, like, end of my high school career, I was like, I didn't want to play pro.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, I knew going into college, I was like, I really want to play college. Like, that's where I want to be. After that, I want to get a job. I want to work.
Yeah, overseas was never thought about that. Okay.
No, and like truthfully, when I left Eastern, my coaches, because I left with 2 years of eligibility.
Oh.
And so when I left Eastern, my coaches were like, hey, like, like you can play here. Like, you should stay. And I was like, I'm just like,
I'm out.
I was on different things. Like, I talked to, I'm close with Mike Hart now.
Oh, yeah.
And so I talked to him about it. He and I talked because, like, he would, like, show up, and I was notorious for leaving for an internship or a job or something. Like, we had an agreement, right? Like, they knew that, like, I wasn't trying to play pro, right? So for me, it was like, hey, when you have me, like, I'm 150% for you.
Yeah.
But, like, I also am trying to build things for my life after this.
Yeah.
And so I talked to him regularly where he was like, yeah, no, if you, like, focused on just hoops, he's like, dude, you could have been so good. I was like, yeah, no, I know. He's like, but also, I don't think you'd be where you are with your business and your
Fair.
life had you not put more effort into those
Before we
things.
go talk about business and SIMBA,
Yeah.
favorite NBA player, don't say MJ.
Oh, Derrick Rose. No, it's not even
Derrick
close.
Rose.
It's not even close. That is my GOAT.
Talk about somebody without injuries. Where would he have
Right?
been?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, yeah. When you're talking about...
Well, it's funny. You need to meet my son because, like, his favorite player, like, randomly was Derrick Rose. He loved Derrick Rose for some reason. And, like, I'm like, Link, like, how do you know Derrick Rose?
Because he knows ball.
Because he knows ball.
Your kid knows ball. Because I'm telling you right now, there
Rose.
was nobody that was giving you a hard 30 straight up and down to the lane. I love Derrick Rose. I grew up on, like, I watched And One. I watched, like, obviously, like Mike was, like, right in my time period, right?
Yeah.
So, like, AI was like, I love Allen Iverson. So, like, that piece of it is
You
like...
have to love Allen Iverson.
Any guard that says... Sorry, if I can't cuss, you're going to need to cut this out. Fuck
an
the
adult
shot.
show.
I'm giving you a bucket at the cup is my cup of tea. That's why, like, when Ja came through, I was like, absolutely, right? Second coming. But Derrick Rose, my joint. I used to do double knee pads like D Rose. I had the D Roses. Oh, man, I love Derrick Rose. That's my guy.
I love this.
That's amazing. So after college, where did that lead you? Like,
I started my business in college my last year.
okay.
And actually, Brittany and Millie.
Yes,
were
another SIMBA member.
Another SIMBA member were a huge part of that. I took a portfolio class with them.
Oh,
and
Maker and Made. Maker and Made.
Yep, they helped me. Sorry, I feel like it's one of those, if you know, you know, baby. Like,
That's
Maker
right.
and
But we
Made
want
they're
everyone-
here, ladies.
We want everyone to know if they don't know. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
preach. And so they were a huge part. I took them out. They sat down with me, gave me kind of just, like, hey, how do I do this, right? Like, I want to do this. And admittedly, they were a huge, huge resource for me when I first started my business. A big reason why I didn't get pulled up on tax fraud because they were, it's just things you don't think about, right? Like, and another thing that, like, SIMBA provides is just a lot of that information that, like, when you have an idea, and especially, like, as an entrepreneur, you have an idea, and a lot of times you're not thinking about, like, the X's and O's behind that. You're just, hey, I've got this great idea, and having a resource that can help you, like, move that to the finish line without having to worry about, like, oh, did I forget something? Is huge. And that's what Maker and Made was for me.
Yeah.
They kind of paved the way for me.
Yeah. Fun fact. I haven't talked about this on this podcast, but they did the redesign of Spokast.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah.
They also did SIMBA's website upgrade.
Oh,
Nice.
love it. Heck yeah. No, they're incredible.
So you've just been freelancing since college.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So I started that. And yeah, just sort of built it slowly. My first year I made like $12,000, and then year over year just kind of like doubled it. And I think back in COVID was like the first time I hit six figures and was like, wow, I could like really do this.
I was gonna say, like, I kind of, you haven't been freelancing, you were freelancing, and then you moved to being a full creative studio.
Yeah. So that was also another part of it. And we are a creative studio without a physical location because I also, like, I'm a big proponent of keeping your costs as low as possible.
Yeah.
And I personally feel like physical spaces, while also really cool for like large clients to like take them somewhere, physical spaces can be a real money suck.
That's right.
And for somebody like me who does like the majority of everything I do online, like it's a hard sell to be like, hey, I'm going to bring 4 employees to a location so we can all be one here, as opposed to like, hey, let's meet virtually and we save thousands of dollars.
Also, you're passing that cost on to your clients, and they're coming in looking at
Right?
this conference room
Right?
like, what am I paying to be
that's
here?
that's what I think about, right? Like when I hire people and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, like I'm all for, get what you're worth. Things cost what they cost. I think you pay for good services, right? But at the same time, I do think like sometimes when you've got bloat in your company, and then I like come and I see the physical bloat, I'm like, so this could be more affordable, right?
Right, yeah.
But like we've created a situation, we've created a problem that now we have to fix. Like,
correct.
I've seen. I mean, I think I'm not gonna name them on the podcast, but there's there's a handful of agencies that have gone to that model. They've left the physical space because they're like, also like I was working at an agency a couple months ago, and I was like, everyone would just work from home and they'd come in like once or twice a week, and I'm just like, you don't need all this space if your team doesn't come to this office.
We're paying to cool off chairs.
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing here?
But like, when did you know like that you had to, like, you wanted to like do your own thing versus going and working for an agency? Was there a moment?
Honestly, I have a overabundance of confidence in myself, if we're being honest. And so I honestly, there are a lot of times where I think about like, oh, would it have been nice to have started off agency route, make some connections with some of the bigger players in this area and stuff like that. I've since met a lot of them and made those connections organically. Yeah. But I truthfully think I am very passionate about the work that I do, and I struggle with some, and I've even had to do it myself, right? Because I have an agency and it just kind of comes with the territory, but I had to learn that. I struggle with like some very specific agency work that just feels like a soul suck, right? Like, again, they're just jobs that you got to get done for money,
You're
right?
keeping
Like,
the
let's be
lights
real,
on.
you're keeping the lights on. But when I'm at the helm, I get to choose which one of those to take or not to take.
Right.
And that, I honestly think that autonomy is like huge. But I think like even beyond that, as a black man, like I feel like my grandfather has worked a low income job his entire life, right? Cleaning bathrooms, cleaning spaces, factories, right? My father is like one of the first, if not the first, to go off to college, right? And so like there have been a lot of things that have been paved for me. And so like for me, like I owe something to this next generation, right? Like for my kids, right? And so part of that was like, I want to own something. And it's not lost on me the effect that has on African Americans in this country, right? Going from being owned to owning something means a lot to me.
Especially in our community.
Yeah.
And so that piece is like, from the jump, I knew like, I want a piece of this. If you've ever seen that Denzel meme, I'm leaving here with something, right? Like that's how I feel about it, right? And so that was kind of like from the jump, that was my North Star of like, if it's going to take time, like I'll continue to work a day job, like, and I still do, right?
You're not a
like,
businessman, you're a businessman.
Right?
Come follow your business plan.
Right? And so that piece.
Sorry, Jay-Z.
That piece, yeah, right. But like that was a huge piece of it for me. And so from the jump, I knew like I can do this. And again, Maker Made were huge in that, like showing me that like, hey, you can do this. We think you can do this.
Yeah.
Right?
I was telling Josh, I love how full circle this is, because in my past life, when I was working with small businesses in a different industry, I helped Maker Made get started, like help them set up their business. So seeing literally now having a board member who kind of got started because of a business I helped get started
it's
is
very full circle.
incredible.
I love that.
And I love seeing what we're doing. And you mentioned, and I will say, I just moved to West Hills and I drive by your mural all the time.
Oh, yeah.
That's downtown when I'm coming into town, the one that's on the old lighting space.
Yes.
I'm like, that's Josh. But you said, you get to choose because you're in charge. So Tell us about some of the projects you've chosen or you've done that you're really proud of or that were meaningful to you.
Oh yeah, I think that mural. So the first getting into murals in general was like super special for me because the first one I did was after all of the protests, and so I got to do one of those, and it was off the cuff. I had to like rent a scaffold.
Yes.
I'd never
get a
done
permit.
No, I genuinely had never done a mural before, and they were like, hey, you got 5 hours. And so it was really interesting because I created this like mural style for myself that's like very, you've seen the one I have. A lot of them are 2-color on top of each other, but that was born out of, and like with all great projects and design things, it was born out of a restriction.
Right.
I only had 5 hours to paint a huge mural.
Huge.
And so I had to figure out like, how am I going to get this done? I wasn't a muralist at that time. And so I figured it out. I painted something freehand, and that was kind of how it started. And somebody saw that, and that was then I got the one downtown at the car building, across the street from the knitting factory.
Yeah.
And that's like a full street.
Oh,
long.
that's you?
Massive,
That's mine.
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
gold and
Yeah.
crimson.
Yes, which was inspired by the car sign that I had
Yes.
seen, and I was like, oh, I love that.
That's cool.
Yeah, right. And so I'd done that. I loved that project. That was a lot of fun. I also did another one recently where I painted a skate park that was so much fun.
Where's that?
In Liberty Lake, Pavilion Park.
Oh, nice.
So that one was a lot of fun as well. Any of the work I get to do for Hoop Fest, I've gotten to work with Hoop Fest for a while. I got looped in with them back when Santangelo was at the helm over there. But now Riley, who's the current, I think he's ED there, he and I hoop together.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Love him. Yet another Stockton. I love the work I get to do with Hoop Fest as well, just because like that cross section of hoops and street ball, and it's just like bread and butter for me.
What have you got to do with them? Like,
So I did player shirts for a few years.
Oh, nice.
The first year I did was honestly arguably one of my best player shirt designs. I'm not too much. I thought that was fire, right? It was the last year they had Nike too, so I got to design with the Nike logo. I also had shirts that said 1 of 1. That used the Nike logo.
Okay.
Oh man, they were so fire. That year got canceled.
Oh, 2020?
That was 2020.
Oh, no.
I did that one, and I did my big one with that one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if I've captured that level of like.
Are the shirts available somewhere?
Oh yeah, you can go to the Hoop Fest store right now and pick some of mine up. I have a I was doing that before here. I've got an And One homage shirt that's out. That's really fun. It's a kid's shirt, and then I also did the championship shirts as well. But I utilized Propaganda. They did all of the branding and stuff, so I got to use a lot of their assets. They did an incredible job on the Hoop Fest branding for year 35.
Propaganda Creative.
Yeah,
for folks who
Propaganda
don't know.
Creative. Yep. They're great as well. I've actually not. I went to school with some of the folks that work over there. I haven't really met a lot of the people that have worked there.
No, I mean, I just know Brittany that used to work there. She came from Propaganda, but and then once they disconnected from HDG, I've kind of lost, I don't really know I know that they're successful. I just don't really know the team at all.
No, I know, but they do great work. So yeah, all the stuff for Hoop Fest. So now normally I do some retail shirts. I'll typically do 1 or 2 of the event shirts as well. And then like last year I got to design the ball. So I designed the logo for the ball, and then they did like a jersey that was so much fun.
I went to go buy the ball last year, and they were sold out.
I'm telling you, hey,
You got to know the right people.
you want to sell out, baby? Come see me. Like,
I should ask, like, so what's Lejit Creative like? What do you emphasize on? Like, what kind of work you're trying to bring in? Like, is it branding? Is it?
We mainly specialize in branding and anything like brand related, so web design. But as we've gone along, Tyrell and I talk about it regularly. We really have begun to start feeling like we're just kind of creative problem solvers, which is a weird thing, right? Like I think I spent a ton of time on like a positioning statement. So like I have an official positioning statement where we're, a multifaceted brand studio that focuses in, tech, entertainment, and sports, right? But like the further I go along, like I'm a huge proponent of just like saying yes to stuff.
Nice.
So like, people will come to me with like some weird projects. Like I've done some weird stuff. Like I've done like commercials for like a blinds company, like a bulletproof blinds company. Like when I tell you,
blinds for your windows.
yeah,
Okay.
bulletproof.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I've done like music visualizers, which is like always so fun. I've designed album covers. I've done,
Nice.
I've gotten to do a lot of fun stuff.
Any albums we would know?
No, not really anything huge yet.
Locally?
Nothing locally.
okay.
And I would
we
love
gotta
to.
connect.
Any local artist, if you want
Helmer
album
Noel,
covers,
you need to hook up.
hit me up. I love music. So any local artists you want album covers, hit me up.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
But I think now I'm in a space where like I just love doing creative things, and I have so many skill sets because I am that kind of person that just like spends time just learning new skills, right? So if you come to me with something and I've not done it before, like
You're gonna find out how.
I'm gonna find out how, right? So yeah, there are things that we again like murals.
Yeah.
I did not think I was gonna ever do murals when I started this. I've done 4 now.
Nice.
And I love it. It's so fun.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your team?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love my team.
How like who was the first hire and like what was that decision like to like bring people on? Like were you working by yourself mostly?
Yeah.
And then like because I know as a business owner I haven't brought anybody on yet, but I know my friends who are business owners bring on, and they always explain it like my job, like it was always something that I knew I could leave if I needed to, but now that I have employees, like I mean I have people who have mortgages, I have people who have car payments, I have people who have families. Like I can't just like up and leave now. And so it's like, so what was that decision like?
It comes out of necessity. I think any good hire comes out of a necessity, right? Like I'd noticed that, like I said, I'd gotten to that point where I was making enough money that I was like, hey, I'm starting to do a lot, right? And like, especially in a creative space as a designer, anybody knows you have to wear so many hats.
Every small business.
Truthfully, every small business, I have to own the hat store, right?
Yeah.
Like, you flip off your accountant hat. I got an accountant a couple years ago because it got to the point where I was like, I'm one of those people like, if I don't know it, I don't know it. I'm going to hire somebody who knows how to do it, right? But that was where it first came, was social media was the first thing. And admittedly, we still struggle with it. I think I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out that sweet spot of like, how do I share my story, my case studies, our work, and be authentic. I also have like a mixed relationship with social media. Like, it's just, I think there are good and bad things about it. But that was the first thing was like, okay, so I brought on Abby to help me with social media because I just needed, I needed assistance. Like I truthfully like having to figure out when to post, how to post, all that kind of stuff was just kind of a nightmare for me logistically. And I just am so stuck in the work. But then next it was Nick, who helps me out a lot on projects and stuff. But his was very like, I'm just doing a lot of work now. Like and we've got retainer clients that we've got to keep up on that I might not always have a moment to go do, right? So I need somebody who's going to be dedicated to those regularly so that we can make sure that stuff gets out. And then Tyrell was one that I'd been just chirping at a lot of like, hey, like we can do this. And he's like extremely risk averse, which, and I am too. Like I'm not a huge risk taker, but he's like extremely risk averse. And so for him, it was like hey, can we figure out a way to make this, a partnership that doesn't have to feel like so heavy, right? Like, oh, like I gotta be quote unquote all in all the time. And his biggest thing is he just doesn't like meetings and stuff like that. Like he's just not, he doesn't want to have to do the like business side of it. He doesn't want to have to do like the, quotes and getting invoicing and pitching. I excel at those things.
Nice.
I went and got an MBA after I got my VCD degree because my dad was like, you need to get something else. But two, let's just call a spade, right? I couldn't get my VCD degree if I didn't tell my dad I was getting my MBA after. I got that done, and I think I do excel, and part of my success is I do excel at that like business side of things, the analytical side, and a lot of creatives and even small business owners, I feel like struggle with that part, right? We're all so passionate, right, about what we do, but it's those X's and O's, those little details that we don't, and having somebody like SIMBA kind of take out that middleman and like help you get to where you want to go without that pressure is like, I don't think people realize how big that is.
And
So,
even
like,
with an MBA is not like a technical degree, right? So you're
No.
learning theory
Yes.
and issues, and you're not learning like how do I file my freaking B&O
no,
taxes?
100%.
Right?
I got an MBA and still had to learn how do I file for a trademark?
Right.
What are the legal requirements for me to do business in my county in Washington?
That's right.
Like what, excise tax?
Right.
Huh?
Which is truly why business owners, we've talked about this on other episodes, regardless of their background,
Yeah.
even if someone with an MBA doesn't know.
No.
Yeah.
And that's why we are happy to provide those resources.
Yes.
Like, let us navigate. I cannot paint a mural,
Right?
design a website. My relationship with social media is mixed.
Right.
Facebook didn't exist when I was in college. It's fine. But I got to miss having my friends tag me in all the worst photos
right.
of
No
your
kidding.
life.
Yeah, exactly.
So that
There's
part
some good and bad
that
there.
part of my life doesn't
my
exist
digital
on the media.
footprint's a little rough. Like,
That's right. But I can follow your excise tax. I can
Yes.
talk to you about B&O. We can talk to you about all your certifications and registrations and fill in the blank.
yeah.
And so having that resource is really important.
100%. Again, like I told you, like I'm a big proponent. If you don't know how to do it,
Ask.
ask or hire somebody
But
to do
also
it.
ask somebody who knows.
Yes,
Because one
yeah.
of the things that I always talk about, and I'll joke about it in presentations, is everyone's like, well, my buddy said, or my uncle said.
Oh, we got a lot of fake experts out there.
A lot
Yeah.
of uncles
Oh,
who've
my
never
gosh.
owned a business
Right.
successfully, never held a job
Right.
successfully. I always think of like Cousin Eddie from the National Lampoon's films, right? Like, why hasn't he had a job? Well, he's holding out for management. Like, it's always that person is giving you
Right.
advice. And I'm like, why are you listening to that person?
That's a quick way to get the IRS on your ass.
Right? Like,
I'll
what
just
have
tell
they
you that.
done to show you that they think that you're right? So
Right.
ask someone, but ask a trusted
Yes.
advisor.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, I want to get more into the SIMBA side of things, but I want to break it up, play a quick little game. We're gonna do
let's do it.
our this and that. I want to actually It's Hoop Fest, the day before Hoop Fest. This is going to come out later. Hoop Fest is going to be long gone, but we're sitting with a former champ.
That's right.
And reigning champ.
Yeah.
And I got to ask, like, what's a basketball question I should ask? Are you a Gonzaga fan?
It's mandatory. It's mandatory. It's mandatory to live
Dad
in
works
this.
there.
I was gonna say part of it is like, hey, they help pay Pop's bills, so I gotta show some love to the Zags. If they play Eastern, absolutely not. But any other time, I'm a Zag. So, and I've got buddies that went there. And,
Yeah. But I'm lost of what my basketball this and that question is going to be. My this and that question was going to be Jordan or Kobe.
Oh.
my man. Okay. This is an interesting one, right? Because they each had their things,
Yeah.
right? But I also don't want to take like. People do it with hip hop artists too,
Yeah.
right? As soon as somebody passes,
Yeah.
they become the most incredible person
Right.
on the planet,
Yeah.
right? Admittedly, growing up, I wasn't a huge Kobe fan, right? I just wasn't, right? And I think part
Because
of
he
it
was a Laker?
it's not because of he was a Laker. I just again, his style of ball isn't my style of ball,
Okay.
right? Like he is Mamba mentality is a real thing, right?
right.
And those guys that are just like cutthroat, get them the ball at the
Icy.
end of the game, ice cold, right? I love that. Not my style of game, right? Like I grew up, it's the beautiful game for me, right? Like so. Moving the ball, assists, that's my jam, right? I'm probably going to have to say, this is a very tough question. Kobe or Jordan?
It's a conversation I have often with my son because I can't bring LeBron into it because my son just immediately goes.
Oh, that's easy
LeBron.
one for me. Yeah, that's an easy one for me. Yeah, you asked me that one, I'll give you that. I'll give you that 10 times out of 10. Kobe or Jordan? I think I'm gonna have to go with Mike.
Yeah.
I almost wore my Jordan ones today, but they didn't match my outfit.
Whoa.
The beauty of being a short person is that when I do resell shoes, which can be
Yes.
wildly
Yes.
expensive, I
Yep.
can wear youth larger boy sizes.
See, that's the cheat code. My
It
wife's
is.
that too.
That's right.
That's the cheat code.
So I
'cause-
have some like J ones that if I were an adult human sized would have cost
it's
me
rough.
1,000
12 and a half is a rough size
easily,
to be.
but
Yeah.
I got them for like 300.
See, that's what I'm saying. I wish.
The Jordan ones came out when I was in 3rd grade. That's how long ago Jordan played.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like Mike was, that was my joint.
Yeah. Right? I didn't get my first Jordans until I was 40.
I mean,
hey, Pops made sure I had Jordans I was stepping in Jordans from the time I was born. They just gave me my old, because we just had our second, and she's 2 months. But my mom gave me my first shoes, and those were J's. My dad, because my dad was that way. My dad was like, hey, just couldn't afford Jordans growing up.
Yeah.
And so he was like, first thing was like, I'm gonna buy my kids some Jordans. So
my dad
I was stepping from the jump.
My dad made me wear Converse.
See,
now you're cool.
But back then, oh no, I was rough.
They were like leather Converse.
Right?
They didn't look like Converse. They just looked like Nikes that had a Converse logo on them, but they were so ugly. And then it was Asics. I had a pair of Asics. I'm like, and everyone else is wearing like Jordans, and I'm like, I was just like, or Kobe's.
But did you have the Shaqs?
I never had
I was hooping in the Shaqs. You would have thought I was prime Kobe or LeBron back in Moscow, Idaho, playing in the Shaqs. They've never seen hooping like I was doing, man. Like for real, for real. That was we had in Moscow. You had one jersey for all sports.
Yeah.
You just had like a jersey. It was two-sided.
Like the penny.
Yeah,
style?
It was a penny. It was a penny style, and it had sleeves. It had sleeves.
Oh
so
my
you're
gosh.
hooping and it was awesome. Honestly, admittedly, it's a genius structure.
Right.
So like every kid just gets like, hey, if you're a part of these programs, you get a jersey, and every time you go to a team, you just bring that jersey. You're either gold or you're black, because it's Vandal territory. Right. And that's what you did. So yeah.
When I was in high school, Jordan, easy. But when I was in high school, I used to wear a Charles Barkley jersey, Phoenix Suns.
See,
with my
like
fake
you wear
Timbs,
that,
like
ball.
Oh, I need ball. I'm still bitter about when Charles Barkley was in Houston and that game got interrupted for O.J. Simpson.
Oh, that's funny. I remember that.
It was a culturally significant moment.
It was culturally significant, but I was like, they're in Houston.
Yeah.
NBA Finals is like, what is happening here? What is happening?
As somebody who now owns a white Bronco, I'm telling you, not too much, man. Not too much.
Do you have a this and that?
I do have a this and that. I'm going to change it slightly from what's in there.
Please do.
Because I'm going to shout out SIMBA members instead of that. So would you rather do Coffee at Indaba or Arctos, SIMBA members, or Tea at Revival?
Indaba has my favorite matcha going right now.
The blueberry one?
No, it's orange blossom. It's their house syrup. It's orange blossom and vanilla. It's
getting that
delicious.
After this.
Oh, please. I'm telling you. My only issue is that I live so far away from Indaba.
Yeah.
Like it's like a 25-minute drive to the nearest Indaba for me. So that's like my only.
So New Love is kind of your go-to.
New Love is like my go-to because they're around the corner. Yeah, they're around the corner for me.
Yeah.
But like,
and they're fantastic.
They're great. No,
they are incredible.
I love Ike. I forget his last name, but of New Love.
Oh,
the owner.
Yes.
Yeah, they're great.
Yes.
Would you rather design for a startup or an established brand?
Oh, I love my startup family. Admittedly, startups are difficult, both because of capital, and because they want to move really fast a lot of the time. I've actually started to create like pre-made like brands and logos that we're going to be launching hopefully soon. Our first one, where we create a pre-packaged brand that has a simple website, a logo variations, simple style guide. So everything you would need to like get your brand going like today. And it came out of like, you see all, with AI and logo generators and stuff like that. Like you could go and have something. And I've sent people to logo generators before because there is a market for it where it's like you just don't have the capital and you need something. Yeah. But my thing is I was like, well, is there a way for us to bridge that gap between startups that want to move fast and also need to move on a budget and good design work?
Right.
And so that's for me, like I love working with startups, but I needed to figure that problem out. So I think like a startup versus an established brand, it depends on who the established brand is what I would say. Most of the time I'm going to go with the startup because they're really passionate.
Right.
But like if Nike comes calling, I'm not saying no. Right? Like
the phone lines are open.
The phone lines are open, right?
You got one.
Yeah. So this one I probably know. Do we care more? And maybe I don't know. Murals or it's just illustrations, digital work? Because you've done both now.
Oh, I have done both. Oh my goodness. Any muralist has a love-hate relationship with murals.
Why?
They're a lot of work, right? And if you've not done one before, let me tell you, it's a lot, right?
It's not just scaffold, it's also permits.
It's permits. It's insurance, depending on where you're doing it. And then there's like painting a skate park.
Right.
Like you got to figure out how to throw up a mural on a half pipe.
Right.
Again, like these are weird places to be putting paint, or like a bench, like
right.
or grind rails. Like again, like these are murals I love. I would say digital work would probably be my go-to, just because I am a homebody, but I love the problem solving that comes with murals. And there's just something like super cathartic about being done with one and seeing like it come together in that way. But everyone I've done has been so different. I did one for a studio called Kindness that's in their studio was a commission they built a canvas for me.
Oh,
nice.
wow.
So because they wanted like a really big one, but I was like, hey, you could like spend a bunch of money, or if you can build it and just put something on. I had like a mural in my kitchen for like a month, much to my wife's dismay. Yeah. But like, again, that was another weird one, doing the scaffolding. Like I've never had a mural that didn't provide like some unique problem. Right. So yeah.
Interesting. Last one, kind of a fun one, and you might be an Xbox person, so this might not hit home.
I'm an all games person.
Oh.
Legend of Zelda or The Last of Us?
That is like trying to pick your favorite children. Oh, that's devious. That is a devious question, I'm going to tell you.
Oh, sorry.
I have to pick one of those?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to pick The Legend of Zelda.
Good.
The Last of Us. Right. The Last of Us was introduced to me by my wife. Oh. My wife is a huge Last of Us fan, also a huge gamer. But she introduced that to me. I didn't play it when it first came out on the PS3. I could talk about this all day. What Sony did with the PS3 versus the Xbox 360 should be studied, because the PS3 you would have thought didn't exist to kids my age. Oh. We were all Xbox 360. Yeah. And you can go look at studies of like the marketing, and even the price point was a big thing, right? Me and all my homies had Xbox 360s. If you had a PS3, you were bougie.
Yeah, PS3 like launched at $600, I think.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was a crazy, because it was the one they were trying to double it as a Blu-ray player, right? That was like the big selling point, and they found out really quickly that people were like, I don't want this for that. Like I'll buy a Blu-ray player.
Right, I can also get that for $100.
Yeah, for like $100, right? But so I didn't play it when it first came out. So I played the remastered version on the PS4 with my wife. She's like, you gotta play it.
Same, me
changed
too.
my life. That game changed my brain chemistry, right? Like it's truly one of, and people don't understand, because like, you know, casuals who like watch the show don't understand like that first season.
Where it came from,
Like, guys, you liked that? The game was that. But you played it. Like it was exactly that. Like, oh, Pedro Pascal, like that's my guy, but like you played that.
Yeah.
And like even season 2, super true to the game. Yeah. In the second game, admittedly, I'm an Abby hater. Like, I'm gonna say it. When I had to switch to Abby's point, hot take. When I had to switch to Abby's point of view, I stopped playing.
Oh wow.
Oh, I did. We watched it after that. I literally felt so strongly about it. I said, I refuse to play as her. And when, spoiler alert, when Ellie, I'm all for the message, right? You got me on a tangent. I'm sorry. I'm all for the message, right? Cycle of violence has to be broken by somebody. Nah, I'm getting my lick back. I'm telling you that right now. Right now, if there was an option in that game, I'm getting my lick back.
There's a cheat code.
I'm getting my lick back. But Legend of Zelda is who I would pick after I just talked about The Last of Us for the past 10 minutes, right? Yeah. I grew up on Zelda. I had friends that like would, introduced it to me, very similar to like Pokemon. Like I used to play Zelda on my DS and my Game Boy, and have played every Zelda honestly, I think that's existed at this point, even the original one. And that came out like before I was born, like admittedly.
It came out when I was a child.
And it's hard.
It is hard.
It is so hard. Like playing that game and then playing some of the like there's a lot of things that like modern gamers don't understand, like our quality of life, that like if we went back and played, you'd be like, this is unplayable for me.
Yeah.
No, you can't save. Like there's no checkpoints, like you know, like those kinds of things. But I love the Zelda games. It tickles that itch in my brain for, and even any game that's like Zelda, I will like. I play a lot of like Zelda-like games as well, because I'm a sucker for a simple story. Save the princess, collect a bunch of random items. Each dungeon utilizes the item that you just got to solve the puzzle. Like chef's kiss. Like don't change the formula. Give me more of that. And then they came out with Breath of the Wild and flipped the script on everybody.
Absolutely.
Those were incredible games.
Will you watch the movie when it comes out?
Is it live action?
Yeah.
Yes, it's still in
Miss me with that.
pre-production.
It's supposed to come out in 2027.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I have a hate relationship with live action movies, especially live action movies after animated movies.
Right.
There are some things, and a lot of things, that are just better told in animation. Like The Lion King didn't need to be touched.
No.
Lilo and Stitch didn't need to be touched. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Truthfully, and if you feel like you're the kind of person that can't watch an animated film and needs to watch the live action, I'm gonna hold up your hand when I say this. Grow up.
That's fair. It's fair.
Speaking of the Lion King, let's bring it back to Simba.
Let's do it. That's
Right?
perfect.
Thank you.
That's where I
That's a
was
beautiful
going. Yeah. You want to?
Yeah. How did you find us? I know this story, but everyone else probably doesn't.
Yeah. I actually got connected to Simba via
Juan Moss, Simba
Juan
board
Moss,
president,
Simba board president. Shout out.
filmmaker, Purple Crayon Pictures.
Yeah, Juan and I met when we were doing interviews for, I think it was the
Spokane Arts.
Yeah, Spokane Arts. I don't know if it was the ED or not, but I got asked to do that, which was awesome. And Juan will tell the story
on an interview panel, right?
On an interview panel, right? And which is also, I was like 24 or 25 at the time, and I was easily the youngest by at least a decade, at least. And so again, I was sitting in this room, and my biggest thing is if I'm going to be in the room, I'm going to be in the room, right?
Yeah.
And so Juan was apparently impressed with how I carried myself in that interview process and the questions I asked. And I also think that I bring a very unique perspective by way of a young business owner to a space that, like, again, these are a lot of established businesses. And so when they were looking and doing kind of a lot of the restructuring of Simba and stuff, Juan reached out to me and was like, hey, I'd love to talk to you about being on the board here and what we're doing. And admittedly, the mission or the future mission that he had kind of saw kind of coming together, it was like bread and butter for me.
Yeah.
Like I'd been locked in with terrain for a little while, and admittedly, like any of the work I get to do with them is incredible.
Absolutely.
But that kind of mission is like I told you before, like anything that I can help, especially for BIPOC people, like I'm all for. So, and I tell people all the time, like anything that can take me away from my 2 children under 3 and my lovely wife, like I really believe in, right? Like because if you know me, I'm a home body. Don't ask me to go do something. Like don't, right? I'll get on a phone call with you, but don't ask me to go do something. So if I'm doing it, like I believe in it, right? Nice. And so that was the piece where like, that's how I got locked in, and it's been awesome, right? And feeling like I have an opportunity to like give back is special for me.
Why did you got connected by Juan, but like why did you choose to join Simba?
I chose because honestly, it was funny. After I got locked in and was considering being a board member, that was when I started looking at like the services, and I was like, oh, registered agent? I don't want to have my address online anymore.
It's past time for you to sign up for that.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no, truthfully. Or even just like tax lessons, legal lessons, figuring out like how to get a business license, all of those kinds of things. Like these were just a lot of things that if I didn't need, I felt I could point others to, right?
Yeah.
And so like being a member helped me go like, okay, if I know the breadth of what we're doing, like it's easy for me to go, hey, up and coming freelancer, like here's a resource, right? Or somebody else who's got a small business. Admittedly, a lot of the people that come to me are freelancers in my space because it just makes sense, right? But like anybody that comes to me is like, hey, I'm looking for this kind of service. I can throw them that way because I know the service and I believe in it.
Was like how early on in like your starting your business did you get connected with SIMBA? Was it pretty early on, or
I was 3 or 4 years into my business. Yeah, so I had already gotten to a point like I'd had to establish all of it. But honestly, that was part of it. Was like the amount of hours I had sunk into
trying to find out the answers.
Was a lot. And so when I did get locked in with SIMBA, I was like, oh, it's one of those things where it's like when a math teacher doesn't give you the simple equation, they're like, you got to do it the hard way first.
Right.
So, and then I'll give you the simple one. That's what it felt like for me. Is I was like, oh, so I did it the hard way. Now I get all the easy answers, right? Through SIMBA. So.
Was there something that happened like early on, like that you were like, I wish I had SIMBA then?
Do I have stories for you? There are so many things. I think, figuring out it taking me like 2 months to figure out like what business license I needed would have been a nice thing to have. The tax codes to use would have been a nice thing to have. Even like knowing that I had to pay like excise tax, like there was a specific tax monthly that I have to pay, right? Like those are things that like I wish SIMBA would have been around, because it would have been like, hey, I didn't have to spend time scouring or contracts. And this is for any small business owner, especially a service provider. You need to have somebody under contracts. Look me in the eyes. You need to have people under contracts.
And you need to have a contract you hold people to. We just were talking with an incredible caterer. I'm not going to name them.
Yep.
And they just were like, oh, and this person, they just didn't pay. And I'm like, well, what's in your contract? Like, let's talk about it. And they're like, oh, we just verbally agreed. And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Get your bag, especially catering, because food costs are so high.
Well, especially anything that you've got to have like inventory or like a product, like you have to. Like for me, it's just like.
But also, like you said earlier, know your value and put it out on paper first.
100%. No, that was like I had clients early on that I'd worked with, damn near retainer clients, right? Like we'd worked with for months, and then all of a sudden, stiff me. Wow. I have a guy who owes me $8,000 still. I'll never forget that number.
We'll name him next.
Like I'll put him on blast. And then the next, like, saw me at the grocery store. His wife got my wife a job working it was the craziest thing. Like, this is how connected we were. Went to dinner with them.
Oh gosh.
And then all of a sudden, stopped paying. I did work, stopped paying. Owes me $8,000 to this day. And I saw him at the grocery store, acted like I didn't exist. I am telling you, get under contract.
Right. This is why Josh wants
SIMBA, right?
This is why you want the vengeance portion of the last
episode. That's right. Yeah, this is why I want the vengeance. You guys are learning a lot about me right now.
Oh, that's so. It's dangerous. Yeah, I mean, everyone that does a podcast with me signs a contract, but. It's something, there's something you don't think about though, because I mean, I haven't been in that situation yet.
Knock on wood, yeah.
But it happened. I hear horror stories all the time, especially in the creative field.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to Millie and Brittany about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've talked to the wood shop about it. Like I've talked to all like Houdini. Like it doesn't matter who it is. Like everybody's
got horror stories.
Every creative agency has probably not got paid by somebody.
No, 1,000%. We all have our stories, our horror stories of not being paid, and it's the reason we all are so much like we're such sticklers about it now.
So if that happened, like what would you do?
Yeah. So I mean, it depends on where we are on the line, but we are happy to point you in the right direction of contracts. Help you read a contract, because a lot of times you're contracting with a larger business and you don't have, if Nike calls you, you don't have a lot of input, right? But there might be some things there you don't understand.
Yeah.
And to a certain point, we'll get you there. And if not, we'll connect you with a local business attorney who will tell you exactly what's there, who's going to be independent, local, reasonably priced, available, responsible, all those kinds of things. So we care a lot about who we refer to the folks we work with.
Definitely.
We did last year specifically, we did a gig worker specific for freelancers training. It was kind of geared towards artists, but we also had a lot of folks in the creative space in there. And we talked about basic contract skills. Like, here's what you need to have in there. Here's what you need to understand. Here's what you're responsible for. That video is online on our YouTube. You can watch it at any time.
Yeah.
Get your gig right.
Right.
But giving you those tools and spaces, and if we aren't the ones who can do it because we only do so much, we aren't giving legal advice, we're not CPAs, but we are giving you all the things to get you there. And if we need to hand you off, we do a warm handoff to someone who's going to take care of you.
Yeah. And that, honestly, like, I did a project with Meta a few years ago that, again, and you already know, anytime you do a project with a large business, God, are they going to hit you with some contracts?
Tough luck.
Yeah.
Tough luck. And again, a lot of it's legalese. And I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm reading through it and like, but like, let's be real. Like, I'm looks good.
Right. Scroll up, agree to terms.
Agree to terms, right? And so, like, the thing that SIMBA provides is, like, they will help you understand that. And I think it's so important when you're starting, but especially when you're growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say, like, the biggest challenge over the time you've been around that, like, has been? Excuse me, I'm going to edit this. Okay, what is the biggest challenge that you've overcome as a business owner?
Ooh, time management. Easily, time management. I think anybody who's a business owner is also a pretty passionate person, so has a lot of things that they love doing. And like I said, you have to wear a lot of hats, and figuring out what hat to wear when is part of the challenge. So time management, figuring out when to hand that hat off to somebody else.
Yeah.
That is easily the biggest challenge is time management. Yeah. Because I think all of the like getting clients and stuff like that, a lot of it can be very organic if you're authentic.
Is there a tool you use for time management that you like? Or,
I've used everyone.
Or like, is there like a even maybe it's even a mentality? Like, I have begun to try to like time box. And I put in all of my meetings and events and stuff like that, especially after having kids.
Yeah.
Anybody with kids knows that, like, there's just a lot of things that come up, right? So I've done a lot better about putting in things as simple as, need an hour to work on this project, an hour to work on this. That has been something that I've kind of found really helps me is like time boxing parts of my day.
Right.
And here's the thing, it's like with budgeting, right? And I'm also huge on like financial stuff, but people will tell you can budget anything.
Right.
You could time box anything. I could time box an hour to play games.
You have to do it.
But you have to do it, right? We all think of like budgeting and time, like it's always the unfun stuff. Like, I gotta pay my rent and do those things. You can budget ice cream. Like you could do anything, right? And so that piece of it is like I time box everything I can.
And I think that's something we talk about with business owners a lot too when they're looking to hire specifically. Like, if you don't know how much time you're spending on a project, how do you know how much time you need an employee for?
Exactly.
So if you don't know if it takes you 8 hours to do all the paperwork to get the scaffolding to do a mural.
Yes.
How can I hire someone to do that?
Yeah, and like,
and what am I going to pay them? And how much time, as you said, you wear every hat as a business owner. How much time do you spend doing things that are not VCD and murals and client engagement? Like, how much time are you doing invoicing and bookkeeping? Even with an accountant, you still have to do your own. You need to know your finances.
Yep.
What does this look like? And so we always encourage people to that. So thank you for echoing that, because it's true. Like, if you don't know, how are you knowing your employee's doing it? Or your employee, maybe they need to take a little longer because they're new, or gosh, maybe I can't afford an employee yet because I can't afford to pay someone 10 hours to do this thing that I'm doing myself maybe in 6.
Yep. No, 100%. And like, we don't even bill by the hour, but like, it's so bill
all
by the project.
based?
It's all project based, but even that, like, you can't get to a project based without knowing how long it takes you to make a brand, finish a website, finish a mural, right? So like, it's like important regardless of what you bill.
Yeah. When you're thinking about your time that you've been a part of SIMBA, like how have they impacted your journeys? Like, what's the biggest impact they've had on like helping you build your business?
I think honestly, the biggest thing is like it's the support, right? It's like that feeling of having a safety net that like, if I need something, I have a resource to go to. Whereas previously, I was like, I either have to reach out to, like Brittany and Millie at Maker and Made, or somebody. Like, I didn't have like somebody who felt dedicated to helping my business thrive.
Yeah.
Right. Especially as a BIPOC business owner. So that's the thing for me that I think is the biggest piece is having that kind of business support on that end.
Well, not like you don't. I mean, as being a business owner, like I have a bunch of friends that are business owners, but I don't always want to like. I don't want to bother them about it because like they're building their business too.
Right.
They don't have time for me, and like it seems like more businesses should just like, if you have that type of question like about contracts, about tax stuff, like anything, like it should just be an automatic. Let's reach out to SIMBA.
Yeah.
Like, luckily, Josh has my personal cell phone number as well. So
I keep it on speed dial.
As a board member, he gets to reach out when he wants. And I kind of laugh too because a lot of like Millie and Britt always reach out to us.
Yeah.
And we love them, and I want to spend all my time with them because they're so fun. But it's just knowing that there's a person you can contact who knows the information, or what I think is important about us is if I don't know the answer or someone on my staff doesn't know the answer, I know who to ask.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go through that.
Gosh,
cousin, friend, like the resources of like, I don't know where that is, but I know exactly how to find it.
Yep.
Yeah.
To save you that 2 months of what license do I need to have a business in Liberty Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of feels like whenever someone asks me a question, or if that we just got to get people that like, when they ask you that question, go ask SIMBA.
Right.
Because I can't answer that for you, but I can try to.
And I don't have time because you're running your business.
Right. We need the SIMBA button. Yeah. Just like the easy button.
That's awesome. Yeah, but I mean, we've said it a lot this episode, but like, what would you say to someone who might be thinking about joining SIMBA? What's your pitch? Your elevator?
My pitch?
Not even your elevator pitch, but what's your pitch to someone?
Yeah, I was going to say my pitch would be anybody who has a small business or is thinking about having a small business, join SIMBA. You won't be disappointed. Yeah. I think it will speak for itself, truthfully, right? It's one of those things where it's like you pay for a service that you really like, you will get back what you put into SIMBA 20-fold. Yeah.
I think that's part of it. We really spent last year, and Joshua was a part of this, looking at our member benefits and doing a membership committee and a survey of even former members, like, why did you leave?
Yeah.
Right.
To give people things that are tangible. So, like, for example, one of the things now is being on this podcast, which is a massive benefit because it costs money for Brennon to create a podcast for you and give you all these clips and all these things.
Yeah.
So we give you the things you want, but you also have to use them. So maybe you don't need a registered agent, or maybe you don't want to do a business plan with us, which are all member benefits, but you're going to come to a social. Josh came to a social, and I had a little moment where I was like, dang it, we really care about SIMBA, about showing up and dressing well. We make jokes about it. It's in the employee handbook that the staff can't outdress me. It's fine. But Josh shows up and he's got like a hot pink mechanic suit on. And I was like, this is why you're on the board. This is why you're on the board. We need to elevate the rest of the board around that.
This guy knows ball.
But also we had so many different people from so many different spaces in that room talking to each other, sharing those stories. Because as we talked about on our first episode, it can be really lonely to run a small business, even if you have employees. Because when you're the person in charge, who do you talk to?
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Right? And even if you're running a podcast versus a creative business, it's, we're still dealing with taxes and this issue and how do I get someone paid and how do I get someone engaged, and oh my gosh, social media feels like a chore because it feels like a chore. Yep. And so what do we do around this? And so having that space of not just services from SIMBA, but a network of business owners who are all values aligned, who care about our community and care about what we're doing in our community and are supporting the things we all want to support, I think that matters a lot.
Yeah. Question for you, Robin.
Yes.
When you were, I'm not sure how the boards decided, but like, why did you pick Josh to help? Like, I don't know if you did that or if that was I imagine that was
I wish I could be the only one to pick board members. Because for folks who maybe don't know, when you're in a nonprofit, like I'm the executive director, so technically I'm in charge. But the board at the end of the day is my boss as a collective, not Josh specifically or David or fill in the blank or Juan.
Yeah.
And they're all volunteers and they all have day jobs and sometimes multiple jobs. Yep. And so, the level of engagement can vary depending on what's happening in your life cycle or what's going on. And I appreciate Josh so much because he's like, stop, I don't need any more information. Things are great. So it makes my job easier. But I also appreciated, I got to meet with him wild coffee shop moment where maybe Josh was racially profiled and I'm out in the parking lot like, do I have to fight someone?
Right. Wasn't the first time, won't be the last.
Right. But I'm like, well, I'm this, 5'2" middle-aged lady. I'm like, I'm going to Karen someone for good and end up on social media. It's going to be great. But having this space of where Joshua, like he said, when he's in the room, he wants to be a value and show up. So his first meeting was our retreat. And that was kind of his test. We met through some of the boards. And we had some really tough conversations about some historical things at SIMBA and the direction we were trying to go. That was a big change. And he really stood up and held his own and doesn't always talk first at meetings, which I love. We definitely can identify who talks first at meetings among the board. We'll do bingo later. But always brings something of value, always has a clarifying statement and is not afraid to say what matters. And that matters because we have challenging things that come up in an organization, like massive funding cuts have happened to every nonprofit this year. And having people come in and say, how can I support you? Or what do you really need? And giving a different perspective matters instead of boards that are just checkboxes. So I appreciate Josh doesn't just go along to get along. He really has a voice. And it was important to me to have youth on our board. The next youngest member is David, I think, and David's 43. So having a variety of business owners and people in different spaces really mattered as well. So I get to advocate for who I want on the board. We're about to bring on another board member. We'll shout her out in the future. Very exciting. But at the end of the day, the board votes, so I don't get to decide on that.
I should ask, like, being a Black business owner, like, having... I've talked to other Black business owners, and it seems like there's always you have an uphill battle because there's stigma to that. Like the example I have, and this is I can't really explain it other than this is like TS, the solution. He opened up Panoramic Dreams, and he said when he went to go open that up, he was just, when he's getting that lease, he's like, I'm a Black person getting the lease. There's a lot I have to hold up to here, being Black. And I was like, that's unfair because that wouldn't come being a white person. But he said, but when he chose to close, he still had 2 years left on his lease. And he's like, having to go to him like that was really, really difficult. But like how is having like somewhat of a community of SIMBA, like does that help? Like
100%. I think and that's why like even through SIMBA and like even before SIMBA, like being connected through terrain and stuff and the stuff Ginger and Jackie do. And like it's so meaningful to have community because I did grow up predominantly in white areas. And so like even, like I said, even Ginger has been a huge resource for me. And just like owning my Blackness and also being more a part of the culture and stuff like that. But I think that piece of it is like being around people that look like you. It can't really be substituted. Like if I'm being honest, like I don't I don't have to feel that sense of like uncomfortability in a room, right? When I'm with SIMBA members, right? I can let my hair down proverbially, right? My hair grows up, so that's why it's funny. But I think that's like that can't be discounted,
right?
But you know, to his point, like we feel like there's a microscope on us, regardless of what we do. Like if we make a mistake, that mistake feels compounded by our Blackness. But if we're trying to get into a field, it feels like there are extra barriers for us to break into that.
Right.
And so that piece, you know, again, stuff as simple as like, don't only reach out to me during February.
Right.
I was waiting for this to come up. I know we've had this conversation before, and I was like, how do I ease into this discussion?
I don't need to ease into it. Don't only reach out to me in February. If you reach out to me only in February and I can tell that it's like glad handing, like I will tell you no. It's happened. I've had huge organizations reach out to me, and I won't name names, but I have had huge organizations reach out to me only in Black History Month. And this is the thing and I'll get off my soapbox after this. But don't. It bothers me to no end when I get a group of white people come to me during Black History Month because they don't have any BIPOC people on their staff.
Right.
To come to me and go, hey, we've got this project that we need you to do.
I don't know how we found you.
Yeah, I don't know how we found you because we need a Black voice, right? But then after the fact, silence. I have this specific organization that I did work for. I did a Black History Month project for them 3 years ago. I have not worked with them since on anything. And the first meeting I had, there wasn't a single person of color, or even there are very few women in the room, right?
Yeah.
I think part of what sets SIMBA apart, because our board is very diverse and our membership is very diverse, which can be a little hard in Eastern Washington. But I think one of the things that our board did before Josh came on is we redid our mission, not our mission, vision, values, but our bylaws. And we included that if you're a SIMBA member, you adhere to and live our mission, vision, values. So if you're engaging in discriminatory or hateful practices, we'll say no thanks and give you your money back.
Yeah, of course.
So that if you're in a space where, yes, we're in Eastern Washington, we're still going to have a membership that's going to have more people that are white than BIPOC, but we do have a really good diverse membership that you get to come in as that BIPOC person or a woman or someone who's 2S LGBTQLA or an immigrant, and feel safe because you've got people who have bought into the mission, who agree to the mission and live those values. And that really matters. And I think you talked about why SIMBA versus another business org.
Yeah.
A lot of business orgs talk about diversity, or they're like, oh, we're doing an inclusive cohort, or we're doing this one thing, but it's the only thing they do, and everyone on their board and everyone in their leadership looks whiter than you and I do.
Right.
And so I think that really matters for us. And I appreciate how intentional the board was doing that. And we have not kicked anyone out, knocked on wood, but it's there. We also have a vendor contract. If we do an event in your space, you also have to adhere to those values.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my thing is like, you're lying to yourself if you're saying, oh, it's so hard to find people of color to do work for me, like on other months. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you're like, cut the shit. Like, let's be real. You weren't looking. Right. And again, it's the same argument of like, oh, we can't find more people of color to get on our staff or our board.
I don't know why there's no women in leadership.
I don't know why there's no women in leadership. Like, women don't make up over half the population. Like, I throw a rock out there and somehow I hit a woman, right? But you can't seem to find one when you need to hire.
Yeah.
And why are you the only one doing a Black History project? Why can't you do a Pride project?
That's my other and that's my thing is like,
or a Women's History Month project, or a fill in the blank.
Right. And that's my thing is like, I'm a huge proponent of like, it's not that I'm against Black History Month projects, right? Like, go to the people that have the voice. But my thing is like, if it feels unauthentic, that's when I have an issue where it's like, I can tell, like, you've never spoken to me before.
Right. Suddenly
my blackness is the reason. Yeah, my blackness is the reason. And it's a struggle, right? Because you're coming to me not because you think my design works good. Maybe you think it's good, but it's also because I'm black, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, awesome, like, I'm gonna take your money. Like, don't, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I am not above taking the money, but I do also have my feelings about
this is our
like,
clip,
right? Yeah, how it works. But I think like, truthfully, as
get your bag.
Yeah, get your bag always. Truthfully, like as a Black business owner, and as a minority working in America, I just find it so frustrating to feel like we have to go through all of the same things that other businesses have to go through, regardless of color, plus this added layer of just shit you got to deal with.
You're their only Black friend.
No, genuinely. Or like, and it's like, I've told people before, I have a love-hate relationship with people asking me to do like interviews for the news and things like that, because it feels like, again, I am the Black person you're comfortable with. Right. Like, there are better people to be telling XYZ story. Right. Like, admittedly, like, I have lived an extremely privileged life. Like, my father and mother did an incredible job putting us in great schools, great areas. Right. We might not have had money when I was first starting, but by the time I was 8 or 9, like, we were a middle-class family. Right. And it bothers me to be put up on a pedestal. The amount of times that I have heard, wow, you're so well-spoken during an interview is like, I don't speak the same King's English that we all speak is crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, any white person that says that, like, you need to just take that out of your
Take it out of your vocabulary.
Right.
You would
Take
never
it-
say that about anybody else.
I want you to go.
No one has ever
and I want
said that to you.
and I want
Right,
you
no
to
one's ever
write-
said that to me,
right. I need you to go and I need you to write down all of the times that you've said that statement, and I need you to also do like a Punnett square of what color that person was.
Right.
And if you find that there's a similarity going on there, you may be the problem.
Yeah.
Be the change you want to see.
That's right.
Absolutely. It's important to talk about because it's just
It is.
It's in Spokane. There's not enough BIPOC businesses, and there should be more.
Yes.
And I feel like there's a great opportunity here with SIMBA to like go to them and learn how to start your business, and I always get kind of flustered talking about this because I'm passionate about it because it's sad to see. It's sad to see my Black friends like always getting profiled because of the color of their skin, and it needs to end.
Yeah, when we
Like,
had
and
we had a board member who had a very similar feeling of like being uncomfortable with like being in that space. And again, don't be uncomfortable being in that space.
No,
like,
of
we
course,
need
yeah.
right. Like we need people that look like you to also support these missions.
That's right.
Like
Yeah.
it's so huge, and learning how to talk and be an ally in those spaces is like so
And being an
so
active
huge.
ally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, like I think like a lot of white people, my wife included, right, feel very like they're on the sidelines, right? In the sense that like there's not there, like we feel so strongly about it, but like what are we? And there is a time to step back. But I also think
100%.
there is a very adamant time to be an active participator in like what's being accomplished. Like don't be afraid to step in.
Right.
I think the people that feel it the most are the ones that aren't authentic. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like if you're being authentic, I've never met a BIPOC person that's been like, out of my space, right?
Right, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know what we do have a bullshit radar for? I'll tell you that right now. Inauthentic people.
Yeah.
Like I notice it immediately, right? Because you have to.
Right.
I have to keep myself safe in spaces, right? So
Absolutely.
like I have to smell that out quicker than you, or you have to smell that out, right?
100%. Mm-hmm. Oh,
And that is part of the advocacy work that we've talked about in the past for SIMBA, like being that voice and raising those issues. Like SIMBA supported our council reinvigorating the Keep Washington Working Act in Spokane. So our local police isn't involved in ICE enforcement because it's the law in Washington.
Yep.
People get to be at their jobs safely. And it mattered to us to speak up for people with different voices, especially if I get to be the one delivering the message because I'm a middle-aged white lady.
Yep.
Yeah.
And everyone just assumes that I'm just going to Karen all over you and maybe be rude to a service industry worker, which I would never, because I
Always on our way to do that.
a bunch of service industry jobs, and you can tell when people have not.
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah.
being able to carry that message and having a diverse board and diverse membership who supports those things really matters.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I get to use that allyship actively and for good in spaces that maybe Joshua can't show up in.
Yeah. No, that's very. It's very important what you're doing. I can't wait to work with you.
Yes.
I'll contact you next February.
Oh, that is such a good joke. Well done. Well done.
Put it on your calendar.
I like him so much more already. That's so good.
We need more businesses like you in Spokane. Like I've never, I honestly, like you immediately when you walked in, I was just like, I know I'm gonna become friends with this guy.
Right? Yeah.
Because I'm just like, you have just like an aura about you that's just like so positive, but it's also I think you're just killing it. Like I don't really even know what you've done, but I know that your business is legit. Oh, and
that comes up way more often than I thought it was going to when I named my business.
I didn't mean to do that,
Right?
but,
Nobody ever does.
but what I'm not sure how to end this, but like I just think I appreciate you coming on and talking about all
Thank
this
you.
because it's very important for business owners to hear this and just to know that like you're out here killing it and to learn about you, because honestly before this was scheduled I didn't really know much about what you're doing, but like now I'm only going to send people to you.
And I appreciate that. I mean, that's
So how do they find you?
Yeah.
right. Oh, at Lejit Creative on most social medias, and then legitcreative.com is our website. I kept it simple. So
And it's LEJIT.
it is. I need to get better about saying that to people because it just in my head, I'm like, obviously, right? But yeah, if you spell it conventionally, you will not find me. So spell it with my initials. You should know my initials by now. So
And how can people find what's anything going on with Simba that you want to shout out? Like coming up in July?
Coming up in July.
Oh, sorry, August.
In August. We don't have anything
Okay.
planned for.
No.
No. We are plotting our first Live Local market.
Oh, yes.
Simba runs Live Local INW. If you didn't know, we'll talk about it more in a future episode, but definitely go there. It's a place for independent local Eastern Washington businesses and nonprofits to list your business, your services you're offering, and there's an incredible events calendar that is beautiful. It's not just a Google plugin. You can put, your links to your tickets, images, those kinds of things. But we're going to run a local market. We're finalizing our location. It's going to be in September to highlight some local businesses. If it goes well, we'll do it every other month.
Oh, nice.
And Simba members get first pick of tables, booths, those kinds of signups, and it's cheaper for them to join us. So definitely incentive to join before September. And as we mentioned on the first pod, and I hope Alexis mentioned it on the last episode, if you want to join Simba, there's a discount code for listening to this pod. It's pod 15. Works on any of the membership levels for annual membership.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Josh, for being on In the Den with me and Robin. And
Thank you.
thank you all so much for listening and watching and being here. Go become a Simba member today.
That's right.
You can sign up for whatever level you want to be at, and it comes with it comes with instant access to Robin.
Not my personal style. You've got to be at a higher level to get that.
Sorry, guys. If you know, you know.
But thank you again for joining us. Until next time, peace.